Good morning, my people. Jukira Nagamba. Kulikuwa weneta katambla 40 kilometers per hour. 40 kilometers per hour. So you, my guys, might be there seeing like I'm going very fast. But I'm doing 40 kilometers per hour. And for learners like Mama Aban, or nodes like this, 25 to 30 kilometers per hour. Because, you see, that's 40 kilometers per hour. It's very easy for you to brake. And let me show you what 30 kilometers per hour do in terms of braking. 30, that's 30 kilometers. That's how fast 30 kilometers per hour is easy to brake. So that's why I recommend that when you're driving on roads like this, and wali oba nacharo, wali abatamanyi moroka, wali abatategera, wali ona abalinda abatomera, abaweyo kasenge. So on roads like this, you go as low as possible. That's what I do. But how is your Monday? Today our topic is, it is important for you to work very hard to afford a private room at a hospital. Now, with private rooms, there are two kinds of private rooms. One where you are 2 or 3 people, and one where you're only 1 person. And then what you genowad? I'm going to share a story shortly. But you too can share your thoughts on why it is important for someone to get a private room when you are sick or when you're admitted. And this should apply across the board for all your family members. Let it be your child, let it be your woman, Gagenzo Kuzala, or even you or even your parent ngagenze mu ddwaliro. You share your thoughts on why it's important for us to work hard to afford a private room, especially in Uganda. Well, good morning. Ngena babu zako mwenenga sinayingira main road. Ngena babu zako sinayingira main road. Na ye, atuke ku main road tunyumye bulungi. Bagambe, the topic for today is why it is important for us to work very hard to be able to afford a private room at a hospital for us and for our loved ones, especially here in Uganda, where things are messed up. By the way, I'm still doing 40 kilometers per hour. And guys, I came late today because yesterday nasanza amasanyalaze tegaliko, and when nasanza amasanyalaze nga tegaliko, and I said I'm going to wash later. Nigalwawo okudda nenaba nenebaka nigakomawo ekiro. So I had to wash my car in the morning, and that's why I'm late, guys. Forgive me, but you know the car needs to be clean. Kitegeera nenga mumunda mwabadde mulongoseddwa nkubye bukubi rupiira n'enjo zaako kunera kati moroka eyaka. Who you dealing with? This guy's a woman, let me know. So I do the simple thing for her. Now she gave me one, baby, thing she gave me one, you know. Okay, man. With another side, okay, man. Then when my guy, kids have a way of coping. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not gonna put on the t-shirt today. I sit out today. I make a laugh. I make a wine. Come to me, girl. I'll make you smile. I'll make you feel. After that, I'll take you to my place where we will play. Before we play. We're gonna make them jump. We're gonna make them dance. Bagay, kansoke mbabuzeko. Muyombia Mark, Chisambira Daniel, Frederick, Joshua Eden Farm, Lawrence Omule, Peter Mangeni Petero, the of Innocent. Hey, the of Innocent, the CEO Kawundo Cruisers Association. Ben Kako, Louis Hassan Nubuwa, Hussein Nubuwa, George Bob Msedeko-Starch, then is 12, Wamala Williams, Semakula Shafiq, Rama Charity Organization, Michael Yuji Murunji, Jili, Danny Okeni Albino Olak, Gilbert Amanya. Arthur, how do you also inspect during weekdays or just weekends? Inspections are recommended for weekdays, not weekends. I don't recommend that you buy a car on the weekend, because on the weekend the options are limited. Abamba Genze, Mucharaba, Tunda, and all those things. Chamba de Hannington, Murunji, Jiri, Sedeko-Starch. Arthur, as a person who drives a car, I can now certify Mama Aban, the love of your life. She's the one now, a graduate. If someone drove to the village and back home, she's a driver now. Irana yeye uya driver ngambi mbekuru ya siri wakanga abirowoza mwengeri yavuze mu rugendo olulwo na mukatika fula so ruvuga ne moroka ze mpaka Victor Bwanika. Good morning Waboyi Nelson nakate Christine. Sivuze musota banange guys nasuze ne raktiso lwalero. Muna ndoza Arthur, as a person who has medical insurance, it's very important to save emergencies. When I'm back in Uganda, kuba medication ya Uganda, the people die of petty illness or lemwa, so it's very important to save. Yeah. How is the maximum sort of fuel consumption? Eyongera mu mutwaro ngagumu ku mafuta ga Galactis. Bridget Kakai Kamukama Godwin. Dr. Besije was rushed to hospital last night. Let's keep praying for him. I mean, guys, Dr. Besije Paul Sema VIP, good morning. Katuyingire bana. Jagala banyumiza you guys. By the time I left high school, nze nali Okeman. Isomero dunale ngali mpita Okeman. And do you know how that came? Because my name is Chisenyi. Mubala yabana boda bebalwanira abasabaze ba taxi. Kati nze banyimiridde maaso. Abana banjereganga erinnya Chisenyi to make it feel like my name is really ugly, yeah? My name wasn't really ugly. It was just like a place. So, nebampitanga Chisenyi nga banjerega. So, I found a coping mechanism, the Neita original Chisenyi. Because I was literally in every school where I was the only Chisenyi there. So, the Neita original Chisenyi. And then, Ngabo Manyi high school students, we start doing music a little bit there. Then I said, Nendi Sara Okeman, original Chisenyi the man. So that's how Okeman came about. It was me coping with the bullies that used to say Chisenyi, Ori Chisenyi, Oringe Chifo, Ori Chisenyi Simanya na Orina Masimanji, Ori Chisenyi. You know how kids can bully in school, eh? So I found a coping mechanism by calling myself Okeman. Nayenga, good morning. Juma Ali, wasuzotia. Nabagami no highway rongera jibawa. Kongs to Mama Abba, now she drives like Susan Muwong. Tanatuka, you're selling Abanga, Rwana, na yo. Yeah, Neka star tu ka ruwana na yate chichi. Selling ajikwata na abanga akanding and na ingira tuka. But I've seen many women drive like that, staring bajikwata in bits. Asindika yo 10 degrees, na kumeo 10 degrees, na kumeo 10 degrees. Kwegamba. Nenga kasaba tuka jebaraga. Zenalimfu yira kagaru. Akomyewa abana bangi. Highways nange mwenyini silagara kuzivuga. But guys, let me tell you a story that I'll get to office faster than I normally get. But guy, I wanted to share this story, and of course medical insurance is very important. But the reason why Ugandans don't have medical insurance is simple. Bobana made the cost of medical insurance and how long it will take you to get to a medical insurance facility and what their cover is. And then you hear stories of people that have medical insurance and how badly they are treated. Medical insurance, company and stuff like that. In a way, you lose a bit of experience, a bit of love for getting medical insurance. But also, medical insurance is quite expensive, especially if you're in a family that doesn't get sick that often. Medical insurance is good. Family then you can get medical insurance. But after up to like Bante Kake Chupa one recent, Yate Ali Chupa and Yachi. Bantekako chupa kunzizamu wano manyi wano bya fatigue bino bye nalingira wano. But I've never really gotten sick to the level ngenda actually tibampanga ku kitanda bukyanga mbaawo. Ni mama bantu bamwanga ku kitanda bukyanga. Tebamwanga ku kitanda bukyanga. I had to confirm. Tebamwanga ku kitanda bukyanga abaawo. So we are two healthy individuals that gave birth to two healthy individuals. So actually my son omuntu gwe basoka omuwa ekitanda twali ku Wanda Health Center wali e Matuga ne bamuwa ekitanda ati bajjanjaba typhoid, but he did not have typhoid because batutanga awonyeewonyeemu butadde waka n'awaseninga. We went to a different place ne bamucheckinga musawo n'agamba this boy has never had typhoid. Kale in the past like 1 year tafunanga ku typhoid kati nga bali babadde bajjanjaba ki gwe muntu gwe basoka ku abana ekitanda. So my kids have also not been to that situation. Kati bwebangamba family yange yonna nsasule million satu za medical insurance buli mwezi. Okitegeera, right? In a way, I don't know if I've been meeting the wrong insurance company. If there is an insurance person here, you can come to my rescue and tell me. Because I've wanted to buy medical insurance for my family. Okitegeera, right? But most of the people that I meet, bwebakubiringa ne bakulaga sente z'olina okusasula is quite much. Wale bakasasula million 5 buli mwaka naye nga bw'obalabalamu in 2023 I did not spend even 2 million. In 2025 I did not even spend. Okitegeera nga bw'ogatagattamu sente zo spendings on medical giringa emitwalo nga 7 ekinene nyate. Those are the years abaana bwe babadde abato nga balwala nnyo infections kati nga abaana bafulumye stage y'okulwala infection ennaku zo tebakyalwala infection nga luli. Okitegeera kati ngokuba mwaka faananyi kwate million 7 nsasula omwaka for medical insurance nga nkimanya I cannot use that money. Okitegeera, then it becomes tricky. Then notandika okulowooza and maybe I should pay for medical insurance, start paying for medical insurance when I turn 40 because after 40 there kati amutandika okumanya ti blood pressure sukali, you know, okitegeera, and things like that. So mulungi Jiri, please don't retract ngenda tandika okusoma mangu. Please bring back the comment. So then the question now comes, if medical insurance is quite expensive, you're treated badly at hospitals, then what's the next alternative? The next alternative is definitely to save a lot of money, buy a lot of assets, so that you have a lot of money coming in. And when you have a lot of money coming in, then you can definitely save a lot of money for medical emergencies. And that definitely works. I remember a story in Uyadasi in Bagambe Uganda sharing. A friend of mine shared the story of his brother. His brother was part of the Watoto ministries. Because you can imagine a boy that has both a mother and father. Orphan. So this boy, so this boy was being taken care of by Watoto ministries. Now, a rare illness. Some of those illnesses that we never have in Uganda. Yeah? Gaina Watoto insurance. Now, the only reason he survived is because he was on the insurance of Watoto. So they kept moving things around. Insurance covers that's the only reason he survived. Otherwise, never had medical insurance individual. Because in Uganda, the doctors here had never seen the illness. In South Africa, they had never seen the illness. They had to send samples to be tested in the US, where the people in the US had seen that illness. US. Never get but the only reason he survived in that coma for 3 years was because Watoto Ministries kept moving around insurance covers. Because Watoto Ministries has like over 1,000 kids. So they kept moving to insurance yono. So that's how the boy was able to survive and stay alive until today. But even until today, we have dobo nekakati achawe nyiramu. Atambulangira atali mulamu bulungi. Okitegera olumu azungamu bwatyo but yawona after like 2 to 3 years of being in a coma ngabamujjanjaba bawenza dagala from the US because in Africa the illness he had was not an African illness. It was an illness in the US. So when they took samples to the US to be tested, finally they got the illness and they sent medicine for him, and that's how he survived. But after using a number of insurance covers of kids. Now, majority of Ugandans would be dead by now, by that time. whether we like it or not. And probably that's where I ask myself, the doctors that we have here, because I know we have doctors on this channel, right? The doctors here, do you take time and also research? We need more researchers, guys. Yeah, we need more researchers to research on illnesses that we have not seen before. Because I understand that if you got malaria in like Norway, you could die. They don't know malaria. But malaria, the reason why they have been over again malaria. So the people that travel malaria, because by malaria, tebamanyi typhoid. Okitegera kati ebirwadde ebimu ffe betuyina wano ate n'eri bw'obeera yofa nga nabo bw'ova ina ekirwadde kyabwe n'okireeta e Kampala, you will die, you might die, you could die. Okitegera. So we are talking about why it's important for you to be able to afford a private room. Let's talk about a private room first of all. Now, for the guys that have been to Ugandan hospitals, the general wards are where they put everyone. You can find like probably 20 beds being in the same area. Sometimes you have curtains that are dividing. Other times you actually don't have a curtain. They bring the curtain, moving it on rails. They will take away open. So in such words, for people that have had their relatives go to have kids, you know that you find women that have come to have kids for years. Yeah, because bali muchi ward and all like things like that. I remember when my plumber was in hospital in Bombo, he was in that general ward, and there were so many people in the same room. Everyone could see what is happening to him. But there was no division. Basically, he sees the pain and stuff like that. That's the general ward. Everyone is there. Probably 20 people are in the same area, or 30 people are in the same area. And then the private rooms for the guys that have been there. When we were having Urban, we had a private room. Mama Urban yagende mukarumu kene tubanga abagagga nga yiyagalireyo teyali mu general ward. When the last born was born, we were in the general ward because it was almost after COVID. There was no COVID. People were poor, so majority of people that had kids during that time bagenda mu government hospitals. Katefe twali in a private hospital. So so the general ward was okay. And then I realized that when you go to hospitals like Mengo, like Rubaga, actually the general ward and the private rooms, that the difference is like 150,000 shillings. So the people that are going to have kids soon, take your women to like Rubaga or Mengo. Those are like religious hospitals. The difference is like 150 or 200,000 for a private room. Get your person a private room. Now, when we compare, the differences are like we have about 7 differences that I have in mind. One is the difference in privacy and comfort. We have a difference in cost. We have a difference in medical attention. We have a difference in infection control. We have a difference in social interaction. We have a difference in the environment, general environment of the hospital. We have also a difference in amenities. Now, for people that are on insurance, already you can choose to have a private room. Now, I'm talking to people that don't have insurance. Especially if you don't have work insurance. For the people that have work insurance, it can be crippling. I would only recommend for someone to really get used to work insurance if you're working in a place where your contract, where you can't be driving 20 kilometers per hour here. 20 kilometers per hour for what? So if you work in a private organization, don't get so used to the work insurance cover. I've actually, surprising, it's a man. You know, men, abasajja tulina ebizibu. Olina okuva awe wako balage nti ovuddewo ogenze. Obalage nti ogenze naye nga gy'olaga tomanyiyo kayinza bavuga mpola mpola. Agende wachali wagira achiringa. So anyway, work for the people that have insurance. You can actually get like I've been to visit people that have work insurance, that they have a huge private room, a lounge that they had seats, inga inamuka kitchen ke, inamuka kanabiro ke, or take a room like that. Now, let's talk about there are general hospitals with names that have a very bad reputation. Exactly, Lucky Mose, you don't go to places like that. I would recommend that whenever you can afford in Uganda, because all of our consultants have the consultants work everywhere. That's why a consultant in Mulago will come once a week. The other days because he's a consultant, he knows what he does. Victor Bwanika is sharing his experience. Let me first see. Starch, well, in UG Arthur, it would have been also advisable at least where you save the emergency, aiming at medical expenses. Because Mr. Arthur, in UG, people fall sick. They have never been admitted. Mania drip. Yeah, it depends on your blood type. Something I've been exposed to, a piece of information, is that people that have blood group O+, like we are hunters. I have O+, Mama Aban has O+. So people that have O+, blood group, your O+ but also O+ people are prone to blood pressure, which they are prone to blood pressure. So you need to use a lot of exercises. Taula Stephens, good morning. Last week I was instructing my sister on how to drive on the road. Ate OC traffic te yankwata na nsibya mukomera navaamu kawungezi lwa sister wange kunangira no, you guys, you're not allowed to teach anyone how to drive. You didn't know. You are not allowed to teach anyone to drive. You're not allowed. Ho. Eyate mudamo kusomeseza omuntu ku main road. Mubereye wamwe mu kyalo. Under the law, the mubagayi. Omuntu yakakirizibwa okusomesa omuntu omulala okuvuga alina okubanga alina license to teach. Abantu ba driving school banenge mugende ku gundi SPK driving school muyiga okuvuga. Basindike wa SPK abayigirize. Olina okuba ne instructor license, olina okubanga olina license eyekukiza okusomesa omuntu. Zimama bani yagenda mu SPK nayiga okuvuga. Yagenda mu SPK nze agenda okujja ne wange. I cannot incriminate myself. Yagenda mu SPK nayiga. I cannot incriminate myself that I told her I am not qualified. Mama bani yagenda mu SPK driving school nayiga okuvuga. Era namwe kye mba mukola. It's advisable. Me, I save 100 from my emergency when I'm back home in UG. We'll keep the discipline. You know, I will fall sick anytime. Kuba Uganda, everything is possible. You know, sort of naka infection in and you see, I was watching Frank Kashumba. In East Africa, Ugandan doctors are the worst. But he was saying that they are the worst. They misdiagnose things, which take it about what they would day and stuff like that. It might actually have to do with how much they are paid and stuff like that. But over how professional they are, over diagnosing malaria, typhoid. Of course, by now I'm thinking in their training. Yeah. So anyway, guys, we're still talking about the differences in general hub, dental medical hub clinic. Good morning. Arthur Awasako has a group annual medical insurance scheme at the premium of 1 million insurance. The benefits per life are 40 million inpatient. So Victor Agambe buying a group cover, million. That's per year, right? That's very nice. That's very nice. Neka kati ono Arthur buli mwaka spending emitwalo nga 10. You see why my trouble comes? Buli mwaka nze spending emitwalo 10 kwejjanjaba. Nze nga Arthur. Osegera mitwalo nga 10 olumu tegiwera buli mwaka. Kati nze now my biggest trouble is not actually medical, it's rest. I need to sleep. Era leero oluva okudduka, I'm going to go and take a nap. Kati nze obuzibu obwange essaawa eno ekintawaanya kwebaka, nyina okwebaka. Sirina bulwadde bankebera ne banga toyina bulwadde. Genda wummula. Kati awo akakadde ako. As a matter of fact, imposing a medical insurance yangenda gikozesa kutekinga annual test checkups. Is also bankebere buli kimu bone marrow bankebere. I think at a medical insurance ina byeta covering. Kati zo test ojja kwesanga bagamo ina kuzesasulira. Okitegeera and stuff like that. But that's something I would definitely consider, maybe for the kids and Mama Urban. Do they cover cosmetic surgery? Mama Urban tukenti mukoloka cosmetic surgery eyo myaka gigenderera eyo. Nkanya bwestani ko kujja ntandika gobenkanya mpola. Victor Bwanika, that's very good. Thank you for sharing. Agambi, they have done that since 2015. And Victor, do you spend your money, the money you pay for insurance, do you spend it? Do you spend bana abantu bayisize wantu wano mukimanyi wali okutandika wanda tosobola kuyisa kada. I think babadde balinda kutandika kuyisiza wano. You guys are going to see people breaking the law mulindeko. Good morning Arthur and my fellow car lovers. Travel live vlog chechiriwo. So that's why I would not drive a Paso. Mulaba abantu ngono mbagala nnyo nze bano mbagala nnyo aba bavuga ebyekibwagwa gasiya bulolo bayisiza ku left ade nakulubudde ne taxi. Abantu abayisiza ku left banyiza it's like mukifo wotalina kuyisiza ku left mbagala nnyo kasi me want to buy a Paso nungi naye mbupya ya beyi nnyo. I taught my wife how to drive naye she had a driving permit yet ngatanayiga kuvuga. How do you people do it omuntu nafuna permit ngatanayiga kuvuga? Fenga twalwana ne permit ya Mama bani wano ngorida amanyi okuvuga yayiga adamu speaker driving school ngeyo kwigamba. Such bad yokunonya. There are things people should not say. By the way, Arthur, I wish these hospitals here can do a retreat to UG. Because where I go for medication, Banange, I remember I had a problem with breathing. Well, by the way, they bought an ambulance for me. If you want to buy insurance at ambulance, your cover doesn't include an ambulance. The cover is only when you are in the hospital. 25th December ngo buze nnyo musajja gwe. How are you? Kajja mukalaba kano kana anzikiza okutuuka okudduka mbudde. Naye whether what or what, I am running today. I am running. Some people bought an ambulance and put something like oxygen mask on me. Yet I don't have asthma. But munaye bankolako, they told me I have a contraction respirator. With respirator. Kale start byogedde aluzungu nyo sijja bisobola. Isuba Ivan tumuyimisa Ivan lucky moze good morning. Bagay network tuzumuyemu kawo katono abalaka bajenga botugira nga twongera okwogera. Guys, we are talking about why it's very important, especially in Uganda, for you to work so hard to be able to afford mwesigena gena ampiteri kataka bakati wano omalira weddakiika 2 wano. Wano omalira weddakiika 2 kanvuga akataka. So guys, we are talking about why we should work really hard to get a private hospital. One of the most important things here in Uganda, why you should get a private room, especially if you decide to go to, kubakati wantosola kuyisa abasirikale webali wali kujugala wateka solid line iranze nange kangoberere bano tuvuga akataka. So sengadi ne kubo lya akataka ne bali ko ne bali fuula lya chorus tuba tujja kweyagala. So guys, one of the most important things, you guys already know that doctors, especially in government hospitals, ask for bribes to treat you. They ask for money to treat you. So you tipping a doctor or a nurse would get you very good service. It's easier for you to tip a nurse or a doctor in a private room. Ebintu bino botu byogerako wano webati bajja gamba we are promoting corruption. We are not promoting corruption. Ebintu byetwogera tubimanyi because they happen. I'm supposed to meet someone. Let me call them mpora on another line. So we know these things happen. Mwena bali badeko na abarode muchimanyi. Ntinebo oboyango tutemulwadde wa cancer somewhere. If you don't have money, oyinza obutafuna help. So having money and giving it to them at the right time, then nature that omuntu obobera ni private room. Your money is easier to give to the right person. Obobera mu general ward abantu bangi basobola okukubba. But in a private room you'll give it to the right person because corruption in Uganda, it exists. And at a kasera akobota asabula, so a private room will give you the ability to give your money to the right person. Ochitegeera kangu kusimu one. So guys, katino you watching against yandu isabo nabona ngenda bayisa mu gari. So the first benefit, guys, for getting a private room in Uganda, especially if you go to a government hospital, is to be able to give your bribe to the right person. Because whether you like it or not, you will bribe until the government probably changes or until the people in government decide to do the right thing. Corruption in hospitals exists. Ochitegera ate botabyogera ko openly bwetuti abantu abatamanyi nti you need to corrupt people, to bribe people to get good medical attention. Bafiirwa abantu babwe nga balowooza things are straightforward, especially abantu abava ebweru. Bwe notwala omulwadde wo mu ddwaliro n'olowooza nti ebintu bigenda kwekola nga bibadde byekola mu America oba e UK. Wano olina okugaba enguzi omusawo okusobola okubeerako. Vaayo. Olabe fujjo agaziye bugaziye kati naye ayagala kuyisa. Basajja balina fujjo bano kambayiseko landi kubuuza. binyumira bino mwe bagayi. Today ku mboozi yaffe kakati tuli mu kwogera ku private room ekyo corrupting abantu kyo mukitegede nti mwino gaba enguze Uganda naddala omuntu bw'aba obulwadde bumugize olumu abasawo bajja kusindikira ne specialist gw'olina okufuna because toba tiyipinze. Ekyo nandyagadde mubeerenga nga mukimanyi. Okitegeera nti eyo corruption weeri. Ebiseera ebimwe tubyogerako bwe biti bayinza n'okukusamoninga naye bayogedde byaki naye nga byebiriwo. Ekyo tuvuddeyo. A private room will get you better attention. In a general ward, omusawo azza okukwatako wano ate ne batandika okumuyita musawo omuntu wange agira gwe ne bakuvaako. Also in a general ward, the doctor's attention might, I'm not saying will, it might be divided among all the patients. Kuba muli mu ward mulimu abantu nga 20 ate mwenna ayagala abakoleko. Okitegeera asobola okukola shift yeetambule mwenna ayagala abayitemu. Kakitegeeza there is a possibility that attention y'omusawo egenda kubeera divided mu bantu 20, which you don't want, which is why you get a private room. Okitegeera, I remember bwe twali nga tuli mu ddwaliro ng'omusawo bw'ayingira room ya mama Aban bwe yali agenda kuzaala Aban, ng'omusawo bw'ayingira room ya mama Aban omulabira ddala nga concentrating because mulimu omulwadde omu. Okitegeera gwali mu kukolako naye bw'agenda mu in a private room in a general ward gwe yisa naawe omusajja wa Land Cruiser bw'oba oba tosobola ddi mabegawe nzimbayiteko. Ddi mabegawe nzimbayiteko kuba kakati mwe mulimu kutijja nze nyina okudduka. already my appointment for the day atuuse. Mzee kankuyiteko mzee debbali tompa bugalo tompa bugalo we a guy omusawo bwajja okulaba nga oli mu private room akuwa attention bambi akuwa attention naye kyolina okumanya Uganda you have to tip. There is a time I went to a big hospital in Kampala. Omuntu gwe nali ngenza okulaba yali ali mu room ye gwemba nyumirizanga aina mu ne kitchen aina mu nyaki nenga bannansi bamuwa attitude kati yalowooza bannansi bampisa mbi naye nganze I am sure ewalala gye bagendanga baba wanga tip kati ono yenga tatipinga. Jukira most of the people that work anywhere in Uganda sente ze babasasula tezibamala. Tips zino zibayambako okugattagattako n'abanga when they get tips they can actually add up their life nekola sense okitegeera. So you need to tip whether in a private room or in a general ward, but in a general ward it's harder to tip because everyone sees it as corruption. So ngate in a private room it's seen as a tip. What taxi na nemesa kumuyisa what taxi agaziye kunemesa kumuyisa. So the other thing that happens in a private room that you might not get in a general ward is it's easier to control infections because oliweka oba muli babiri mu room. So it's easy for a doctor to actually know what infections you can get and what infections you cannot get. Mula yo taxi babadde nemesa okumuyisa nga ya leta sulukatono wa Land Cruiser ye mu malana mwe awuna avanako katono wa Land ono wa Pajero sina Land Cruiser Pajero yabadde asinga okutuslowinga down. And for the guys that don't know, this is the old Bombo Road. Lubaita ku lukadde anjagala kulaba ennyumba y'oli omukyala gwe twagula naye kawundo. Aha njirabye sijja jibanaga naye njirabye tugiyiseeko. Kakati when you go to a private room there is low risk. There is low risk of cross infection because you're not sharing the space with other patients. So nadera abantu abali fragile nti simanya nagenze mu room I have a respiratory infection kati okufuna infections endala kizibu, my immunity is low, obera mu room emu banga ali mu quarantine, which is a very good thing okitegeera. So whenever you can afford a private room, work hard actually to afford a private room. Aba general ward, it's very easy for infections to move around. Yes, so for the people that have had kids in the Babatwara nursery, you know why they took them to the nursery. Baga mumanu na ari fragile katumutwale mu nursery tumujjanjabire ne bamutekane mu kantu nga asiza mu kantu kakinga obana nabo tebigase. The disadvantage with a private room is that you're isolated from people. And for the Ugandan private rooms, you all know TV ebera kongeriko channel nya. Which say that they don't pay. You're not going to get DSTV or Netflix or what. But then again, these days, even to be you can pay for your own Netflix. You can even watch Netflix on your phone. You can even project the phone and stuff like that. So the only disadvantage actually that I realized with the private room is the isolation. Is that you are alone. You're not with other people, so you cannot interact. That's why abakaze biche they singa they even make friends mu dwaliro. Mama gundi namusanga mu dwaliro nga ngeze kusala gundi. Kati mukwano gwange. Kati nga bazze kwanjula oluganga yone yali mu dwaliro nga bagenza okuzala ba mukwano. I find that when I was growing up, my aunties, most of their friends, they got them from the hospital. Okitegeera, nga bagenza okuzala. Then ekirala probably ekirala kyojja okulaba is the difference in cost. But I've told you when we twagenda okuzala urban, we used over 1.3 for urban. I think I tubadde in a private room for days. For days, for like 4 days in a private room. Okitegeera. So nga ate bwe twagenda in a general ward mu kuzala my youngest son, we spent about 1.25. Okitegeera, n'omusajja wa lole talemedde okuyingira layini. Okitegeera. So a private room gives you a lot of kale tugende no waloli wakapasa zeye mabega wapasa zeye mabega wapasa sigenda genda mono jam kangende wali netolo at least boyo jam asobola okusobola mu malamu dakiika 25 so nga ate eri tutambulanga abazungu. Nasajja wa taxi bayiga engombe jobera yakutuusizza wooli today, you know. So private room, the general hospital environment as well. The hospital has a lot of chaos. Abantu badduka, abantu baseka ebitanyuma, mulimu abawunya obubi. Like when I went to Bombo Hospital to see my plumber, the hospital was mu general ward moyali. It wasn't such a very nice place to be. Okitegeera, right? Ngaruwa abantu nga bali ango balabira ddala bonna nga bwe bazza okulaba omulwadde baleka bamaze ennaku nga 5 nga abamuti banaaba nga bakyaafu obuliri bwoli bukyaafu nnyo. Okitegeera, in a private room you can actually influence how clean that room can be. Okitegeera, it's quieter. So if you have a person yeetaaga okuwummuza a private room might be the best alternative. Now, let me share the story that prompted me to talk about this on the broadcast. I saw a video a couple of days ago. Someone was sharing how their sister died. Their sister was admitted for high blood pressure. And she was there doing okay. In the ward where blood pressure, and then 2 people died. The blood pressure. And for the guys that have been even hypertensive like me, you know how scary it can be. The thought of living this sweet life, the thought of not pampering, the thought of not driving your car. There are so many thoughts that would come with the thought of what blood pressure can do to you. Now, if you're in a general ward, the situation worsened. Attack. We have an attack, then they were taking her to the theater to be operated. Tiyatuka. She died before she got to the theater for operation. What I got from that situation was that if this person hadn't been in a Chisiru, you just order a car to stop like that. So the thing that happens is you when you go to a general ward and then you see all these people dying of the same condition you have, in a way it can affect you, it can weaken you. So ngatesenga omuntu abadde in a private room ngatalaba bantu bano bonna kati ngoyo omukyale yafa pressure because alabya ba pressure balanga bafudde. If she had been in a private room, she would not have seen all these people dying of blood pressure, and she would not have had her pressure rise. Also, in a private room with your loved ones around, ne bwabera muntu omu okitegeera nga yaze n'akubeererawo, okitegeera ne bw'obeera ku Netflix n'olaba ebikunyumira ng'oli in your private room, because in this world nze ne bwe ndwala ne ngenda kati mu ddwaliro maama aba ayinza obutasobola kubeerawo all the time because now she has to go and work. Okitegeera I'm incapacitated, so she needs to go and work. My siblings nabo balina okugenda bakole, okitegeera, so oyinza okwesanga olumu ojja kubeera wekka mu ddwaliro. Kati bw'obeera mu ddwaliro n'obeera in a private room olaba ku Netflix, ogendako ku TikTok, okitegeera, me I think I would even live stream in the hospital. So you guys would keep me company as well, abasobola at least. But that can be done in a private room. In a general ward, kati nze ayagala ogenda oku live streaming, people would be saying otuleekaanira ye weefudde ki abavuka n'obutava ku masimu olwo bakwogeredde byonna byonna. Naye in your private room you set up your rig, you live stream okitegeera and stuff like that. So a private room for me is a way to go. Omukyalo oyo yafudde pressure, I have my belief. Nze sikkiririza mu kintu nti Katonda atta abantu oba sitaani atta abantu. Nze ekintu kye nzikirizaamu kiri nti we die based on the situations that are available. Yensonga lwaki abazungu wadde tebasaba nga ffe bwe tusaba bawangala up to 90 years. Gwe ne weesanga nti osaba n'osaba n'ofa naye ng'obadde osaba buli Sunday buli lusooka omwaka obeera mu church okitegeera osiiba osoma Bible waliwo abantu bensanga buli wafunawo akaseera abikula Bible n'agisoma naye era n'ofa because the medical that's the one thing I was asking Mama Urban. She used to make poor voting decisions and I was asking her, you're voting but are you happy? That's before we had our first child, Urban. I asked her, go to the hospital. She went and visited the hospital and I asked her, do you want your son to grow up in a hospital? Go to a hospital that is like that? So she thought about it. Eventually she said, you know what? I think we need to make some changes because hospitals like that, my sons, my daughters, to go to hospitals like that. So now, what then the next time she was indoctrinated by her father to make those poor decisions. So as a family, they would leave home. You need to look at me as I say this, because this is actually embarrassing. Let me tell you, Mama Urban and her sisters and her brothers, bavange waka, ngatata abagambye mulondani, and their families like that. Ngabave waka, ngabaga tugenda kulondani, twebaka. Era when on the day of voting she came, I tried to share dating and she wasn't living with me. The last time I made sure she understands after she voted. So she came to my place after voting. I managed to chapa pokono akakulonda yewa nembuzo ulonzo oti. Na tuwafude wakanga daddy atugambi. Daddy abagamba mulonda botode wangi ngatolonze vote. Era nawe bagenda. Tayabaraba. But nawe bagenda balonda daddy gwa abagambi. So afterwards, then I started giving her a lecture. Are you sure that with the current situation, you are happy going home? Because you're going to have children. The children you're going to have. You're happy with the hospitals they are going to go to. You're happy with the roads that your kids are going to drive on. You're happy with all these things. We say, at least choose a MP. We say, at least choose a LC1. We say, Kati. Fetulonde nare mummanyi be mulonda fetulondani nenga message mugifunye fetulonde nare nenga message mugifunye kamazi kubala kati naendo za mukitegedde engeri gye kyatambulamu. But anyway, so mwebagaye mumanyi lwaki abagagga bawangala okusinga aba. The rich people live longer than the poor people because the rich people can afford private rooms. They can actually afford clean hospitals. You get the reason why Europeans and Americans live longer than us is because their hospitals, all their hospitals are clean. Which is right? They have better medical care. But until the government actually works on this, until the government makes the doctors accountable, until the government makes the hospital administrators accountable, we should work towards getting private rooms in hospitals. Hussein Nubuatagambe, I use Kawempe National Referral Private Wing. The care is so good and Basao give you full attention, though they need to renovate the private rooms. Thank you, Hussein Nubuat. I tell Hussein, you WhatsApp me, Hussein. I saw you. There is a time you even overtook me to show me that you have overtaken me. Nenda mawe wachama. Inbox me on WhatsApp now, Hussein. Inbox me. We need to talk. Peter Chambade, how are you? Mukama, Patrick, how are you? When was Urban born? 1.3 million sounds very reasonable. Urban was born in 2018. Urban was born in 2018. Omukazi wo conductor. Urban was born in 2018. Naye edayo terikyuse nnyo baleka kati balinga ku 1.5 for a private room. Terikyuse nnyo because then 2 years later Urban was born and we paid around 1.25 for a general ward. Which take it, right? For a general ward. So, but I'm all for Arthur personally. I am blood group O+, rarely fall sick, but I pay medical insurance for madam and kids. It gives me peace of mind. But most guys have benefited much on the maternity cover, no stress. And after the trying to stress, we had our money. For me, the moment we knew that we are going to have a baby, we started saving money. Right? There are things that you rarely prepare for. The period of formula. Are there people that have gone through the period of formula? Ngomana omukebe gwa formula every 2 days ngomukebe gwa mitwalo 10. That period there is very rare to find a man that was prepared for it. A period yomukebe gwa formula. I tell you, you'll be surprised. My youngest son, Yagagana in like 3 weeks. Not under the formula. Ragna Yavama. Ragna Yaganda Wama Bay, and I go kunywa formula, and I go back to Matino Yavuzi Chitao. I think I do Ragna Wamzara lockdown. That's when I knew that nobody can stop reggae. Ngasema anda wasuzoti musalo pat Derek wasuzoti ya. So guys, mabadi ya Uganda especially work towards getting a private room. Work towards getting a private room every time you go to a hospital. Work towards getting a private room because it will save you. It will save your life. It will save your life. Get a private room or isasuyo obe mitwalo munana obe etano. Ateno kaka room kabaka raisi. Room eri normal room etali mo kitchen and whatever. Because you never even sit in the seats. Like I find that people that you get those big rooms that zili mo entebe nachi should be like ministers, abaina president agenda okukyala, simanya prime minister agenda kukyala, simanya ba MP bagenda kukyala batulikawo. Nemwe abakyali nganze. Ngaba family member we baja babera weddakiika 2 ne bagenda. Witaga normal room etali mu ntebe. Without no plastic seat bwa mu bubiri bantu kujja kubuzaako bagende. Kati yo room etera kubeera ya mitwalo 5 ku mitwalo 10 per day. Kitegeza ne bobeera yenna ku 5, that's 500,000. Bobeera yo mwezi. Jemze million 3. Of course bobeera ye banga dene kati awo biwanvu amawo insurance bwe yali koledde. Ne kati echemba means when I turn 40 probably that's when I'm going to start paying for medical insurance. Which take it, I'm going to start paying for medical insurance because getting complicated. I have a friend of mine here in a low blood pressure for a very long time. I tell low blood pressure for the guys that know. Low blood pressure is more dangerous than high blood pressure. Low blood pressure Uganda ngenda ku mutima no zikira. And this someone high blood pressure afuna yo ka stroke nalwala n'ababonyabonya muko. Owa low blood pressure abavuga bwati nazikira ku steering, which is bad. And I don't know how people treat low blood pressure, but one of the ways they treat low blood pressure is by eating salt. You eat salt, I was told. You eat salt and you like omutima ne gubanga kola nnyo arteries ne zibanga zikola nnyo. But all in all guys, that story je banyumiriza na kisanze ku YouTube. The story of a woman that died because other people in their ward died of the same illness she had, blood pressure. Senga yabadde private room senga achali mulamu. Okitegeera? So, and of course there are some illnesses, na illnesses onna buli olaba abantu nga bafanga nawe ekirwadde kyolinaye ogwamu amaanyi. Okitegeera? But in a private room actually n'abantu abakukyalira bwe bakukyalira nga you are in a private room nemboze enyuma. They even have places to sit. Like when I went to see my plumber, I stood until when namusibula. But omuntu wajja okukyalira ngo in a private room asobola okutuula ne munyumya asobola no waba ina 1 hour atula ne munyumya for even an hour ne museka. Okitegeera? So mukole nnyo bannange bagayi bange konyo obere ngo ina million zonga 10 at least nga za emergency health emergencies. Oba you have assets you can sell on short notice. Ngo tunda mangu noga kangenene ntule mu private room. Because obulamu bwe bugagga. Tekikuyamba bera na moroka 10 mu lujja. Ngate walitunzeke moroka 2 ne wejjanjaba n'oterera bulungi. Abagagga balwawo nga mwana ba BMK bwe yalwawo n'agenda kebwe ne bamujanjabira keyo. Okisegera of course kati obulamu bwali buweddewo. But abagagga bawangala a little more because they have access to those private attention. Okitegeera? Let's work for private attention. Kyonna kyekiri baganda bange. Kikolerere, save as much as you can, invest in assets as much as you can. Ezo unit trust bichi muziteke mu sente. Okitegeera? Muziteke mu sente. Muziteke mu sente. And learn as many skills as possible. And omanye ekintu ekimanye kino ekiyinza okunyuma. Kwe kubeera nga you got a lot of skills ngo ina ne bodies otuulako nga nazo zikuwaayo akasente. nti ne bojjira mu wheelchair ya boat bakuleta mu wheelchair ne bakutuuza ku board meeting no tubula no manya nti akasente kankajja every quarter okitegeera kati nze je njagala ogende eyo nga mumpita ku board za company zammwe ne munsasule milioni 4 buli mwaka just kukola decision za company zammwe okitegeera so that I come as an expert on your boards when I'm like 45 50 already I know the young people that are 35 ngabata nkatotula ku board ngatula ku board za company nganya and for the people that have small companies private companies mukole boards company boards excuse me and of course boards zibera kuba expert waba kuba business expert kuba kuba marketing experts kuba kuba finance experts okitegeera then of course board ebera kuna abantu abayamba ko decisions like board for the love of cars tulina okubaako n'omunene mu police okitegeera tulina okubaako n'omunene mu ministry of health kugamba some of the things zitambula mangunga board ogitaddeko abantu abatuufu tulina oteekako ku bagagga nga bammwe nojja n'otula ku board nga gwe kikutuuzizzaako ku boyina y'akasente tulina okubaako abantu aba making decisions for the government kugamba omuntu afuna milioni za 4 naye nga kyemumufunamu kiri worth more than 40 God mumufunamu milioni nga bina in value. That's how boards are constituted. Ndimo kusoma ku CIM kati ndimo kusoma strategic budget strategy I think strategy and I'm dropping out now because bangambi mpumule. I'm going to drop out this intake to first of all regain my energy then insome the next thing obulamu bwe bugagga. So I'm going to take a break on books. So can go emirimu jange miyitirivu right now. Miyitirivu nyonyonyo. So but the next time I would have done one paper now, one paper next time, but I'll do 2 papers next time. You know, just because cutting kolenenda like mama baba nikaizo okuvuga. I can actually go and study nina asigaze moroke so that she can run her errands. Kati yavuze nagenda mu kyalo nako mwalinga Susan Muwonge bakuba steering yarwana nayo but it's okay. So anyway guys kyonna kye kiri bagayi bange obulamu bwe bugagga naye obulamu bunyuma nnyo ng'osobola okubukuuma mu ngeri ennungi okitegeera nti bw'ogenda mu malwaliro you have some private conversations with the doctor without being embarrassed. Togamba musawo kirira nkuba akaama bubera in private room abantu abalimu bafulumya njogere n'omusawo you get because that's a private room. I remember Mama we yali mu dwaliro for of course for Ragnar sali yonyo because it was lockdown ebyentambula byali bizibu her mother yali yo mu dwaliro but the hospital and I would see when the doctor abafulumya mufulume ne mufuluma I think it was nice. So private room abayina abakyala batanazale mukole nnyo sente mukazi wazaire in a private room n'omusawo aba wa recommendations tayina mu nsonyi kyatoba neibawona nampulira nga yisabi mugambe because ali naawe weka ajja kuba asobola okuwa recommendations olumu omusawo ayinza n'okuba akulaba obulwadde obuluma Buganda nero okuba ali mu ward abantu bonna tasobola kuba naye bw'obeera mu private room naye bundi nno starch wakomyewo temwolowooza nakugamba kugana osala amagezi ng'obudde bukyali naye mu general ward bannange tukole nnyo tufulume general ward ezo tukole nnyo tufulume general ward and probably olumu oyinza n'obeera mu ddwaliro nga baali badde bakusiibula dda ne bagamba genda ofune nnaasi akujjanjabira ewaka n'osevinga ssente z'ekitanda naye kati olw'okuba you are in a general ward omusawo talina bw'akigamba okitegeera olumu ne keyateekawo yamunyiizizza kati ayagala ko yali badde afulumya keyateeka n'ayogera naye ebweru naye nga talina bw'amufulumya because yamunyiizizza so nga ate in a private room the private rooms come with a lot of advantages yeah the only disadvantage is the cost nti erinnyamu kokka sente ate nga ffenna kye tukeera ku makya buli ku makya okukola sente nze I've come to realize that some of my most brilliantest ideas have come when I'm running. That's why I run. Tulina pilot je twakola luli and we were struggling with how do we create the introduction of this show and as I was running the introduction just came to my mind and then I called my person in the office nemugamba wandika funa olupapulo wandike nafuna pen and paper nentano ko mugamba wandika kino as I was running because the ideas kept flowing and the person kept writing all my ideas, and that's the introduction we are going to do. The idea of the cafe, I was running and the idea came to me what the twachankala na mukao ne batubisa mu show ya fene farm era mu abala ba the cafe what they yali enyuma mu, but the original idea je batata yaite na tata na TV yali enyuma nnyo ekyo mwala bechajja ku TV is actually the revised version, which we revised on very short notice. Try revising on very short notice kandi ko yasoka ite okuba ne genda ngate wali watambula nnyo kigaawo. So we revised the show netuka finga na fete kyatunyumira bulungi nga the original version we yali enyuma, because the original version yali nnungi nnyo. Toyitawo bayigira we moroka bano bayigira we moroka kaze buwa board abantu bayigira we moroka emo kateyita waawo bannange kyete nabagamba abantu ebitongole senga ndwalekerawo gawe emirimu gyagamba n'ogwe emirimu gyagamba n'ogwe egyo giresa abantu abatamanyi moroka for a very long time. Kibula abantu bakyayimirira kukuleka kuyita wajja ye naayita okubayinza okuyimirira nga ati tumanyi moroka. So guys, kyonna kyekiri make money for a private ward. Nabagamba recently I had a discovery, and of course I'm going to talk to this person again. I had a discovery bangambi nti one of the reasons why the plumber died, the plumber wange nti insurance company eya trade ya mulinya yagaana okumusasula. But why did the insurance company refuse to pay? Ekisooka omuntu yali avuga piki teyalina permit emukiriza avuga piki. 1, 2 piki teyalina third party insurance. 3 piki yali mu mbeera mbi. At least that's the report they got from the police, which is why bano bonna mbalaba bali okukuba bababoda bonna tebalina permit. Nze nabagamba era trailer ebyo nababikola nga the trailer is at the police. Kye nabagamba nti senga ofuna accident no wa border no swama kye nabagamba you buy a second car and the third car emoroka no sokogireka ku police nga gochimanyi nti osobola okuba ebintu bino no bituusa no sokoleke emoroka yo ku police. There are chances that the border man will actually pay you, because majority of them tebalina permit, tebalina third party ku piki zaabwe ziri mu mbeera mbi okitegeera. So there are chances that if you stayed, era abantu abamu abalina comprehensive yo wakayongeza akubi ekitaala abo tubeetaaga abo nga bukube ekitaala kipapula kya million kye nabagamba the government needs to work on these things. MK Dental Hub agambe, see this other dental cover, most insurance can hardly cover a single full procedure for dental. Most give this 300,000, yet root canal is at least 400k. Kati I will save your money, fellow Ugandan. Thank you dental MK Dental Hub. Cheche nabagamba nti bwoba osobola okusavinga akasente ko insurance jugule walinga otuse in a vulnerable stage. At least babenga bakavaringa half, baga kavaringa inpatient million ya 3 bagakuwa at least 3 bwoba wetaaga kinaano oyongereko zoyongerako. At MK Dental Hub kyabagambi mu kirabi JK kyekiriwo wakazuukuka Amina Aramat Photography and Francis NBA. Mulabi MK Dental Hub kyabagambye most insurance covers zicovering only 300,000 shillings for dental. Naye ate most dental procedures zisukkamu kachitegeeza for dental cover savings sente ze nogenda ne bakolako ku sente zo abasinga okusinga bonosasula akakadde nogenda ku dental ne bakuwaya 3 ng'ate olina okuyongerako emitwalo emirala 4. Kati bwoba tolwala currently medical insurance wali baddo osooka no saving akasente kabeerayo ku account nga kangi. So in Uganda generally natera no basibula abantu bangi nsobola okubira omuntu gwenjira mukubidde ku simu ndala yanga asiga nikakati achaji kubako wadde mugambe ndi ku live broadcast naye asigala achaji kubako but baba tanga mzee huyo ya asala I need dembe. I want to have that kind of peace, the peace where you walk like that. Mama Aban has that kind of peace. You know you can be late in the morning. Mama Aban ngateka earring matwalinge yake deda ngate muli late. Nathan kokusanire enviri na inogamba chichi no. It's good that she has learned when aleta maka tu yangenge weri. nja kufulumya akamotoka ke nkaze ebweru nfulumye yange nteziza akamotoka ke munda nze mvuge musota yange ngende kolwa ajja kubonerera because tasobola vuga speed gye mvuga kati bwaba kuba ku dropping aba urban abajja kutoba agenda batuusa late. But all in all, guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast today. I hope it has been a very good share. Is there anyone that has had a bad experience with insurance companies? Because I'm sure after today's broadcast, there are people that are going to consider buying medical insurance. And you should, by the way. You should. It's just that insurance in Uganda doesn't have a very good reputation. It doesn't at all. And we all want to deal with things or with people or with companies that have a very good reputation. When in abroad, you'd have to buy travel insurance. They are covering over 30,000 euros. I don't know. I never got sick on any of those trips. There is a time I went when I was sick. I would reach nekolanga atalwalangako bwemala nendwala era nga ndwala maliriza ate ebintu byaffe bya performing arts mu bimanyi zinatukanga ku show nga rehearsal zibala za sawa nga nya for like 2 to 3 days, then the next day would be a performance okitegeera. So that's katinga to obudde obulwala malaria n'obeera ngo oli mulwadde nga tobulina gwe musajja gwe kiki. Are you an NGO ogabire wa taxi space? So guys, kyonna kye kiri kola nnyo ofune private room in a hospital. Ogenda mu lukale kiyinza okutta. You might die simply because you went to a general ward. Okitegeera. Simply because you went to a general ward. I think nyina we nagenda nensanga omusajja nga mukadde bana abasajja abakadde abagagga nga waali awo ng'awangadde ng'era omulaba obulamu butono naye ng'akyali mulamu. I am pretty sure one of the reasons lwaki omuntu oyo awangadde all that time is because ali in private care. Abaali awo abaana be ne bajja ne bamulabako, abaali awo abazzukulu ne bajja ne bamulabako. Okitegeera kwegamba alina care gy'afuna abalala gye batayinza singa abadde mwavu gy'ataalifunye. Era namusanga ali mukulyawo ku grapes oya kweganga alya ku bubalabala abaavu bwe bataali funye berries. Kati waliwo abantu nga mu family yaabwe tebalyanga ku berries yadde, tebalyanga ku grapes, tebalyanga ku citrus fruit. Ebibala bye balya miyembe, micungwa, mangada. Actually waliwo family nga ne mangada wa bbeeyi, kati balya micungwa. Kati mpulirize musirikale wampulirize kitaala. Waliwo abantu abamu nga ebibala ebyebbeeyi tebabiryangako. Banaye tukole nnyo you people. And surprisingly, you guys, there are young men that I've met that are coming ngabava mu poor backgrounds. Nengira nabo they are breeding other poor backgrounds. Zibaita humble. Kweganga yakulira mu family ngabavu nga naye akyali mwavu kyokanga azaala abaana batasobola era nabo bakulire mu bwavu. Okitegeera. For me, it's one of the motivations for having only 2 children is I don't want to be too poor. Okitegeera. Because your kids sense it. Abana over sensing and never daddy no. Tainamu. Okitegeera. To the extent that abana batandika kulabirira. Omwana atuka mu senior 6 n'alaba ng'obwavu wakabunyi n'agamba sijja kweyongerayo kusoma kangende nkole ndabirire bazadde bange. And for the people that came from such backgrounds, namwe atete mu creating a background bwezi muzaala abaana be mulaba omusobola. Okitegeera oba 5 nga b'osobola it's okay, oba 6 b'osobola it's okay. Okitegeera oleme kubanga gwe baatuma abaana. Omanyi wawo abantu abazaala nga be baatuma abaana kati atanga abaana I think it's the biggest drawback mu bulamu. Why? Bw'ozaala abaana you cannot just move to any neighborhood. Bw'ozaala abaana you cannot just move. Because every time you move, you change their schools. You change what they are familiar with. Okitegeera bw'ozaala abaana you cannot just quit a job. Bw'ozaala abaana you cannot just risk starting a business. Bwegaana. Okitegeera. So it's important that we understand nti gy'okoma okuzaala abaana abangi bwe baliko de transfer gende mu ennyumba y'ebisenge ebisatu olina abaana 6 tebajja mu kisenge kimu. Okitegeera ngate ennyumba ya bisenge bisatu gy'osobola okupangisa. Kati olina pangisa nyumba ya bisenge 4. You get Kati gochobo manya nti every time you have a lot of children, it's a drawback on your life. It's abana bazambwavu. Abana bazambwavu. Okitegire. Ate kati katonda bwakola and by the way guys, you go for tests ngate munazala. Mugende ku sickle cell tests muleme kuzala abana banalwala lwala. Muleme kuzala abana banalwala lwala. Waliwo abantu bozala senga mwena mbeera ba sickle cell carrier ekyalo kibi nnyo. Omuntu avuga kawuno naye ayina ekyalo kingi. Mwe bozala bwe mubeera ba sickle cell carrier for example. Nze ne mama bane tetwabikebera I think kali mama bane abakuba sickle cell carrier. Naye nze nali sickle cell carrier waffe tuli balamu nnyo. Kati wamwe gye nali simanyi. Kala otuzala obwana bwa sickle cell ne butubonyabonya obulamu bwaffe bwonna. Nenze akana ka sickle cell nali kalense ne kavaawo kubanga abaana abo babonyabonya. Nyina omusajja gwe nasisinkana n'agamba abantu baligenze for those tests we yakolaje. Eba chofuna weights ezirimu amakulu. Oli musajja funa weights ezirimu amakulu obwo abakazi. Mwe omusajja yagamba abantu baligenze ku tests za sickle cell. Adiso ngo abera kali omulala aberenga sikali amusobola ozaala omwana nga talina sickle cell. Naye abaana ba sickle cell babonyabonya. Simani no waliyo jjamu. Buli wamulero waliwo jjamu. Abaana ba sickle cell bali ya sente. Ate ne nyingi ezitali ntono. Bali ya sente nyingi. Mbu waliwo abantu be batuma. Mwe bagayi waliwo abantu nga family yabwe yabazaala yabagamba muzaale. Nga tata yabagamba goino zaala abaana bana goino zaala batano nga bulawa. Tata wa mama Abanu yabagamba mu kulonda fuwe dalonda ani atalondo ono todde wangi. Nae. Kama katondo ono. I'm feeling guilty. She's feeling guilty because of the choices she made without making them. Bagayi kamba sibule nkubira omuntu ankuba kyemmanyi wenyino musinga n'atuuseewo. Yakubamba mbaddire enkya olunaku olw'enkya ku makya muyombya Mark. Chisambira Daniel Frank VIP, thank you very much for being here in the morning. Joshua Eden Farm, Lawrence Omule, Peter Mangeni Petero, Diof Innocent, Ben Kako, Louis, Hussein Nubuwat, George Bob, Sereko Stach, Dennis 12, Wamala William, Semakula Shafiq, Rama Charity Organization, Michael UG, Murunju Jiri, Namwabari Mukamole, I don't take it for granted. Then Yukini Albino Olak, Gilbert Amanya, David Chito Klaji, Chambade Hannington, Victor Bwanika, Waboye Nelson, Nakate Christine, Sereko Stach, Brijay Kakai, Kamuka Magodwin, Paul Sema VIP, Juma Ali, Joshua Eden Farm, Murunji Jiri, George Senkubuge, Taula Stephen, MK Dental Hub, Lucky Mose, Victor Bolaise, Travel Live Vlog, Kasim Kayondo. Thank you very much, guys, for being part of the broadcast. 25th December, Isoba Ivan to Muhimise Ivan, Henry Modern Jews, Nyombi Julius, Victor Bwanika, Robert Anton, Peter Chambade, Mukama Patrick, Musalwa Derek, Semanda Raymond, JK, of course, Francis NBA, Minister Raymond Sebowa, Krista Vinci, Nabari Mukamoli, thank you very much. Even the guys that are watching this broadcast later on in the day, later on in the week, or later on in the month, or later on in the year. August, the last week of August, we're going to have the first community get together, a year community here for the love of cars. It's going to be that weekend, 30th or 31st. I'm going to be telling you what we are organizing as well, so that you guys get ready. May the good Lord bless you. I'll see you tomorrow morning for Market Tuesday. Ciao.